Todd McLean.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, confident consumers who are able to make informed decisions are a necessary and important part of an effective market, and this drives competition, innovation and economic growth. Can I thank the Minister for bringing this bill to Parliament because I believe that it is a very important part of much of what this government is about. Consumer law reform is an element of the government's 120-point economic development agenda. Therefore, stable markets based on sound consumer law are essential for economic growth. Can I start by recognising the last speaker, Leanne Dalziel, and say to her that I'm glad that Labor will be supporting this to committee, and I look forward to working closely with them on the consumer consumer law reform bill in the Commerce Committee. And it's good to hear such a positive speech at the beginning of what I believe is a very important piece of legislation for all New Zealanders, those that manufacture and trade and those who consume. It contributes to a trading environment in which trading is fair, there is effective competition and consumers and businesses participate confidently. Consumer laws are some of the most fundamental laws that we have in this country, and all transactions between consumers and businesses must be dealt with and are the cornerstone of an effective market. Mr. Speaker, our consumer laws in this country have not been updated for almost 2 decades, and therefore they must be well out of date by now. Just think how much trading has changed over the last little while. Can I say to you, Mr. Speaker, that dealing with modern transactions such as online auctions, supermarket self-service systems and telephone sales using credit cards are not adequately dealt with under current laws. Industry and consumer groups have been seeking improvements to consumer law for some time and to make legislation more modern and more workable. Well, as Minister Maurice Williamson says, more good news, Mr. Speaker. This bill deals with that. Can I also say to you that clear consumer laws enable people to shop with confidence, protect suppliers and consumers from inadequate market conduct, and enable businesses to compete fairly. Now, this bill, Mr. Speaker, does a number of things. The bill adds purpose clauses to the Fair Trading Act, the Consumer Guarantees Act and the Weights and Measures Act. The first part of the purpose clause for each act will now be the same, saying that the purpose of the act is to contribute to a trading environment in which trading is fair, there is effective competition and consumers and businesses can participate confidently. It will deliver positive outcomes for both consumers and businesses in an effective marketplace, therefore, I believe. And I want to touch just very briefly, Mr. Speaker, on each of those acts in the way that they will be changed and the effect that will have. For the Fair Trading Act, it will state that a person must not make an unsubstantiated representation, and traders and retailers must have reasonable grounds for any claims that they make. The Fair Trading Act will be modernised with new provisions covering lay-by sales, unsolicited goods and services, conduct at auctions, extended warranties and uninvited direct sales. Actually, Mr. Speaker, these are issues that I think many members of the House are contacted by their constituents over when they have concerns, when they wonder what provisions of coverage or support that they have, or when they believe that retailers and others may not have been acting appropriately towards them. I think consumers will be happy with the changes that are being proposed. The scope of the unsafe goods notices and product recalls will also be extended, and the bill will provide for mandatory notification for recalls of unsafe products. In the area of the Consumer Guarantees Act, it will be amended. The Act currently has an exemption for goods sold by auctions. This will be removed so that sales by professional traders using the likes of Trade Me style auctions will now be covered by the Act. But importantly, however, there will still be an exemption for sales of second-hand goods by a registered auctioneer, and those who just sell goods who are not professional won't be covered by the Act. And then finally, consumers will have access to redress. This is extremely important, Mr Speaker. What happens when something goes wrong? Well, we've heard others previously say that we need to be looking at reducing bureaucracy on businesses, but also when it comes to consumers seeking redress. So the Consumer Law Reform Bill extends the scope of the Disputes Tribunal to consider Section 9 of the Fair Trading Act, which covers misleading and deceptive conduct, and this enables the government to provide better low-cost access to justice for all consumers. I look forward to this bill coming before our committee and the work we will undertake there seriously. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrave.